once again welcome each and every one of you to this sixth session of Living with Mantras. It's literally a journey of transformation of our life in terms of our approach to praying, our approach to mantra, being Hindus. Normally, we will associate praying with going to the temple, sitting down, and participating in the rituals. But it's a long distance away from actually praying and getting what we call changes into your life. You want to live a life of peace. You want to live a life of harmony. You want to live a life where you have no mental problem, no mental afflictions. For all of us who have come through this journey in life, there would have been occasions where you would have said, I'm not mentally prepared, or my mind is not at peace. So therefore, the Dharma, or this way of life, gives us a unique opportunity to come back to reality and to show that before you pray, before you actually think of going to the Supreme Lord, to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, before you go there, you have to have what we call mental balance or mental equipoise, which means is that you are at peace with yourself and you are almost attuned to what we call souls like Bharat, souls like Mata Shabri, souls like Mata Mandodari. So before you start to call on Govinda or you call on Sri Ram, we will sort of delve into today as to what do we need to have before we can really go and approach the Lord with a clean mind, a clean heart, free from desires, free from hate, free from anger, free from malicious tendencies. Can you imagine, if the Lord materializes himself in front of you, and then you're going to pray, but the mouth is saying the words, but the mind has anger. The mind has greed. The mind has hate. Oh gosh, how come such and such is sitting on the same row of seats as I am? I really dislike that person. And yet you are wanting to pray. So that is incompatible. So, in order to live this life of bounty, to live this life of a relationship with the Supreme Lord, we have to free ourselves from the desire. We know this world is both outside and inside. The outside world we can control by many, many means and many methods. But it's the internal world that we cannot control. In common language, the only thing that the Lord cannot control is your mind. He has given you that freedom to make a decision as to how you will use your mind. As we started this mantra, let us just go through all the mantras so far. A couple, we won't explain. We will just chant this mantra 2 times to get into the mood. First mantra, Aum Sarve-shaam. Aum Sarve-shaam. Sahano Bhunaktu. saha viryam karavavahai. As I explain, where you see a hyphen on top of any letter, it's a double. Like sahana vavatu, sahano vunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvisha vahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. As we start today, we pray with a clean mind, a clean soul. Both our mind and our body are in synchrony, and we pray for the well-being and happiness of each other. And may you never have a heart that has hate in it, so you have a hateful tendency to anyone. Otherwise, you will lose all of the benefits of your prayers. The next mantra we did is Guru Mantra. And here again, you seek out that Guru who can take you to the intricacies of Bhagwan Vishnu, the creator, Bhagwan Brahma, the creator, Bhagwan Vishnu, the sustainer of this world, and Bhagwan Shiva, we call it the destroyer, but he's the maintainer of the eternal balance of this universe. We want someone who can explain us clearly, but also who can teach us how to rid ourselves of all of the enemies to meet this wonderful Guru. Om Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And let us now chant slowly this invocation mantra to Bhagwan Ganesh. This mantra means is that I pay my deep homage to you, O Bhagwan Ganesh, the Lord of all of the energies of the world. You are indeed the first facet of the Brahma Tattva to arise. It is you and you alone who have created this entire universe. You alone can maintain this universe, O Ganesh Bhagwan. You're indeed the all-conquering Supreme Lord. Indeed, you are the Maha-Atma. You within me is my consciousness or my living entity. So let us learn this mantra. Om Namaste Ganapataye. Twice. Om Namaste Ganapataye. Om Namaste Ganapataye. Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi. Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi. Tvameva pratyaksham tattvamasi. Tvameva kevalam kartasi. Tvameva kevalam kartasi. Tvameva kevalam kartasi. Next line. Tvameva kevalam dhartasi. Tvameva kevalam dhartasi. Tvameva kevalam dhartasi. Next line. Tvameva kevalam hartasi. Tvameva kevalam hartasi. Tvameva kevalam hartasi. Next line. I will do it slowly. Tvameva sarvam kalvidam brahmasi. Tvameva sarvam kalvidam brahmasi. Tvameva sarvam kalvidam brahmasi. Let's chant. Tvameva sarvam kalvidam brahmasi. Tvameva sarvam kalvidam brahmasi. Tvameva sarvam kalvidam brahmasi. Tvam sakshatmatsi nityam. Tvam sakshat atmasi nityam. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now we do the whole mantra together. Om Namaste Ganapataye. Tvameva pratyaksham tattvamasi. Tvameva kevalam kartasi. Tvameva kevalam dhartasi. Tvameva kevalam hartasi. Tvameva sarvam kalvidam brahmasi. Tvam saksht atmasi nityam. Tvam saksht atmasi nityam. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And we read the meaning together. O Lord Ganesh, I pay my deep homage to you, the Lord of the Devas. You are the first facet of the Brahma Tattva to arise. You have alone created this entire universe. You alone can maintain this universe. You are indeed the all-conquering Supreme Lord. Indeed, you are the Atma. It has many verses which we will go through later. Main mantra. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakayeshu Sarvara. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakayeshu Sarvada. And you can recite this mantra over and over. You know, all of you will be having an extended holidays with your family. And there will be many, many, many things that will trigger your anger. Yeah. But to avoid it even being thought of, recite this mantra. What it will do, it will remove the tendency of anger. This mantra will help anger and ego in check, while fostering a sense of humility and acceptance. From today, tomorrow, and all the days of your life, never fall into the trap of anger. Hold on to Ganesh Bhagwan, the giver of everything. Normally, we get angry when we feel we are not being recognized, when we feel that something that is belonged to us has been taken away. Always go back to this mantra. Pray to Ganesh Bhagwan, because if you were meant to have it, he would have given it to you. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakayeshu Sarvada. And finally, you will be blessed with self-awareness. You must always be aware every moment of your life whether you are moving towards anger. Of course, you will be blessed with creativity, you will be blessed with intuition, and you will be blessed with all forms of knowledge. And of course, we went on to explain that if you're blessed by Ganesh Bhagwan, you're automatically blessed by Mata Parvati and Bhagwan Shiva. You're also being blessed with the attributes of Riddhi and Siddhi, success and skill. You also would have auspiciousness in your life, and you will have satisfaction and good health. But most important, the sum total of all of the blessings of Ganesh is that you have Anand and Pramod. You have all forms of blissful but permanent bliss. Not like a child, you will get your Christmas present and within 10 minutes you get bored of that Christmas present, wanting something else. When you are blessed by Ganesh Bhagwan with Anand, whatever you have, whether it's material or spiritual, it remains with you with permanent contentment. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Praying to Ganesh, as I said, today is a season of joy and goodwill. Pray to Ganesh Bhagwan and you will have joy and goodwill all the days of your life. Choose any of the mantras, Om Namaste Ganapati as being your only mantra, or Vakratunda Mahakaya as being your only mantra, or this mantra that shows what Ganeshji wants and who are his divine Shaktis. Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam. Again, Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam. Kapitta Jambu Falasharu Bhakshitam. Kapitta Jambu Falasharu Bhakshitam. Umasutam Shoka Vinashakaranam. Umasutam Shoka Vinashakaranam. Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam. Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam. In this mantra, in the second verse, it has a word that says Shoka Vinasha. Shoka means sadness or grief. So once you're in tune with Ganesh and you have good intuition and you had good bliss from all directions and anandam, there is no question of shoka coming into play. And therefore, although it's shoka vinasha, as a bhakt of Ganesh, Ganeshji never need to use this attribute because his devotees never ever experience tribulation or problems or unhappiness. So in praying to Ganesh Bhagwan, you remove and you prevent all of those things. Om Hari Om Shuklam Varadaram Vishnu Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasana Vadanam Dhaye Sarva Vigno Pashantaye. Devotees, if you can just do a little exercise with me now as I recite this mantra. If you can kindly close your eyes and we will pray that Ganesh Bhagwan and all of his power blesses you as your eyes are closed. You will feel these blessings coming over you. Your body will be calmer. Know you have the power to calm your body. Know you have the power to heal your body. And know you have the power to remove all forms of tensions from your body. Close your eyes, please, and just take in the audio of the mantra. Om Shuklam Varadaram Vishnu Shashivarnam Chaturvajam Prasana Vadanam Dhaye Sarva Vigno Pashantaye. Om Shuklam Varadaram Vishnu Shashivarnam Chaturvajam Prasana Vadanam Dhaye Sarva Vigno Pashantaye. Boliye Ganapati Bhagwan ki Jai. May that Supreme Lord, who is Vishnu, which means Vishnu, not the noun, but the verb. Vishnu means that who is all pervading and who is omnipresent. So he protects you by always making his energy be within you through every cell of your body. Then we went to Shanti Mantras. Let us go through these mantras beautifully and quickly. And these are the real mantras that you need to hold on to. As I explained in the previous lectures, at least choose any one of these. Do not chant the whole mantra, but choose today. I'm going to pray for the next 7 days or 10 days or 8 days only. But let there be what we call auspiciousness, mantra number 4. In the whole world, in every being, let there be all forms of peace and happiness throughout my being, and as it radiates from my mouth, may it reach the body of the whole world. So let us recite this mantra. Om Sarve-shaam Swasti Bhavatu. Sarve-shaam Shanti Bhavatu. Sarve-shaam Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And devotees, sometimes habits makes us pronounce the words of mantra wrong. So this mantra, the word is sham, sarve, all sham. Om sarve sham. Very musical. Swasti bhavatu. Sing it with your heart. Om Shanti now. Sarve sham. Shanti Bhavatu. And really mean, you must mean that there must be peace in your home, peace in your family, peace with your neighbors, peace at your workplace, peace in every country, every city, all over the world. And when there is peace, there is also swasti, there is purnam, there is also mangalam. Let's go to the next line, purnam. Om Sarve-shaam Purnam Bhavatu. Next line. Om Sarve-shaam Mangalam Bhavatu. And as you chant this mantra, not only the vocal cord is chanting it, but your Atma is chanting. And when the Atma is chanting, it impacts on every cell in the body, in the nucleus of every cell of the body, in the chromosomes of every nucleus of every cell of the body. So we do the whole mantra now. Om Sarve-shaam Swasti Bhavatu. Om Sarve-shaam Shanti Bhavatu. Om Sarve-shaam Purnam Bhavatu. Om Sarve-shaam Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be an abundance of well-being in all. May there be an abundance of peace in all. May there be an abundance of fulfillment in all. May there be an abundance of auspiciousness in all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Devotees, if you can, if you have a camera and you can take just a picture of the screen, and tomorrow, as you are asked to do what we call the grace before meals, as you sit down with your family to pray, pray for this, that let everyone experience well-being. Let there be all forms of peace in the home. There must not be a husband who is shouting and abusing his wife, and there must not be a wife who is shouting and moaning with her husband or her children. There must be children who are also speak very beautiful and calmly with mama and papa. So the home is not only a home, but it's a temple. It's a place of joy and happiness. And then when there becomes peace in a home, automatically Mata Lakshmi takes residence in that home. There is an abundance of all forms of fulfillment. And then when Mata Lakshmi takes form, she is followed by Mata Durga and Mata Saraswati. All forms of auspiciousness and abundance of auspiciousness comes to that home. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Then we go to the next mantra. Let us go to the Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. We did this last week. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashit Dukha Bhag Bhave. And remember, it's the word, the second line is sarve, is santu, not shantu. So we must be very careful in getting the pronunciation right. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu Ma kashit dukkha bhag bhave. And this mantra again, write it down. Write it down many times and focus, oh Lord. Make my life in such a way that I can live only to remove the suffering of all forms of humanity. We pray to Bhagwan Sri Ram, and there's a beautiful bhajan. Jai Raghunan Dana Jai Siya Ram. He Dukha Bhanjana Tumhi Pranam. Jai Raghunan Dana Jai Siya Ram. Jai Raghunan Dana Jai Siya Ram. When we pray to Bhagwan Sri Ram and we are saying, Hey Dukkha Bhanjana, oh the one who removes all forms of suffering, we are also address that Sri Ram who resides in our heart. How do we know Sri Ram resides in our heart? Pavanatanai Sankata Haran Mangalamuratiru Ramalakana Sita Sahita Hriday Vasahu Surabu. Boliye Pawan Putra Hanuman ki jai. Devotees, the assurance is given to us by Hanumanji that Sri Ram surely resides in our heart. And when Sri Ram resides in our heart, we must take his influence and his energy, that we must never be the cause of any suffering to anyone, but we must be Rama Dukkha Bhanjan. If your name is, let us say, Lakshman, you must be Lakshman Dukkha Bhanjan. Lakshman must be the cause of the removal of all forms of suffering. So it is you take that role. You have to take this role in life where you become a Dukkha Bhanjana. Then you become a bhakta. Then you become the recipients of the fruits of your prayer. Ma kashit dukkha bhag bhave. Oh Bhagwan, please at all stages of my life, let me only bring benevolence. Let me only bring the first line, sukhinaha. Let me bring happiness to the lives of all that I may touch. Devotees, if you take this mantra and you live by it, people will worship you as a god. You will be as Bhagwan walking on earth, because you will be known wherever you go. The light of your internal being will shine, and you will radiate beauty, you will radiate benevolence. Ma kashit dukkha bhag bhave. Oh Bhagwan, bless me that I take this character of yours as you are Dukkha Bhanjana. Oh Bhagwan, bless me today that on this 24th of December in this beautiful city of London, that today you bless me with the power of being a remover of all forms of suffering. In other words, you bless me with the ability of Sarve-shaam Niramaya. You bless me with this ability of assisting all to be free from all forms of illnesses. Om Shri Ramachandraye Namaha. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. And as we said, this beautiful line of this mantra, take any line. And point 4, regular practice of this mantra can help you to connect with the world around you on a spiritual level. What this means is that you will have true love. I'm not saying romantic love, but you will have divine love for each and every being. You will have empathy. This word is so beautiful. We must have empathy. We must have compassion when we see someone, when someone speaks to us, when we think of someone. May Bhagwan bless us with all of those. And that's the benefit of this beautiful mantra. Therefore, we need to learn how to cultivate peace in our daily life. Meditation, especially simple meditation, is a simple tool for helping us find peace within. This mantra should be repeated constantly, loudly at first, and then as a mental mantra, because this is what we want. We want the blessings that comes from praying, not from mantra. We can recite, we can sing many bhajans, but they're not praying. We can chant many chaupais of the Ramayana, and we can read Bhagavad Gita from cover to cover. That is knowledge, but that is not praying. Praying is like when you do a sanskar. You take this vow today that I will use this beautiful word and I will empower myself. I will empower myself to bring peace and happiness to all. Ma kashyat dukha bhagve, oh Bhagwan, bless me today that I am blessed with the strength, the financial strength, the physical strength, and all of what it takes to relieve the pain and suffering of this world. And when you have done that, then this world will become a place of peace. Om Dyau Shanti Rantariksha Gwang Shanti. Prithvi Shanti Rapa Shanti Oshadaya Shanti. Devotees, if I can stop, you see the way how the mantras are written, it does not exactly follow the meaning. For example, in the second and the third line, the R is supposed to be Shantir Oshadaya, Shantir Vanaspatya, but that's the story of another day. Let's do it how we've done it through our natural habits. So let's chant again. Om Dyau Shanti Rantariksha Gwam Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapa Shanti Oshadaya Shanti Vanaspatya Shanti Vishwe Deva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Redhi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And devotees, this Shanti path is a mystical mantra. It has unbelievable tantric power. And it's like if we were all together, just to do Om Prithvi Shanti, Om Prithvi Shanti, Shanti Prithvi, Prithvi Shanti, Shanti Prithvi, Prithvi Shanti. All of us singing together by the power of our word, we can transform this world from a world of unhappiness and war to a world of peace and contentment. Devotees, we have done, the Shanti mantras, and we come back to where we started, why mantra, and visit it again. And what we have discovered over the past couple of weeks, this is our sixth week, is that praying with a purpose means we are seeking to enhance the quality of life, to feel joyful and happy. And this is a wonderful statement. If I were to ask each and every one of you, you have come in this world, 25 years, never mind whatever your age is, but now you're exactly 25 years old. What do you want out of life? Most of you, I think, or most people say, I want to bring joy and happiness to this world. And this is where, the second line is very important, that you want to bring joy and happiness to this world. But what is the tool? How can you, the small individual, bring joy and happiness to this world when your mind is not at peace? The mind is in turmoil at all times. You have so much problems that people give you. You feel hurt when someone has not invited you. You feel hurt when a favor is not returned to you. So what this session is going to do is try to equip you with your own power, that you do not need approval from anyone in this world for your happiness when you have mantra with you. If you have mantra with you, you have Bhagwan with you. If you have Bhagwan with you, Mata Pita Sutta Bandho Nari, all of those attachments to you, they are good, but they cannot contribute to your happiness. You're the one who would have to find out how can you yourself feel joy and be happy. My dearest brothers and sisters, if we look around us, nobody can say that they know someone who is 100% happy and has always been happy. We have to go back to our scriptures to look and find happy people. And my mind goes to just in the whole of the Ramayana. My mind goes to only one person who was completely, perpetually happy. I can ask you to name that person, but no one of you will be able to name that person. Maybe you would, right? You could name, you would say, okay, maybe it's Hanumanji, maybe it's Lakshmanji, maybe it's Sita, maybe whatever. But the only person who was defined by Bhagwan Sri Ram as living with permanent bliss was Bharat Bhaya. And why, if you remember the episode, let us remember this beautiful episode where Bharatji is now going to meet Sri Ram after Sri Ram has left for Banvas. Now, can you imagine this scene? Now, Lakshman is doubtful, Bharat is coming to defeat you, O Sri Ram. Now, you may want to know, why did Lakshman was so fearful of Bharat? We have heard of the power of Bhagwan Sri Ram and Lakshmanji, but Bharat was infinitely as powerful as both of them. Can you remember the Katha where Hanumanji is flying over Ayodhya? He has the Dronagiri, this mountain with the Sanjivani herb, and he was flying over Ayodhya, and Bharatji was in his what we call his position under the level of the soil of Dharti Mata, and yet he aimed and he shot an arrow, and it was the only person in the whole universe whose power can bring down Hanumanji. And this is the Bharat who is the most happiest, the most noble, and one who is free from desire. This is what Bhagwan Sri Ram said of Bharat. And picture this. Picture Bhagwan Sri Ram speaking to Lakshman, and he says, this is the Doha, Bharatahi hoina Raja Madhu Bidi Hari Hara Parapai. Bhagwan Sri Ram said, he says, look, the literal meaning, what do we speak of becoming proud of ascending the throne of Ayodhya, O Lakshman? Bharatji, you mean will feel proud and want to ascend the throne of Ayodhya? No, 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 no. Bharat can never develop pride even if he ascends the throne of Brahma, Bhagwan Shankar or Vishnu. And this is Bharat, because Bharat was free from desire. And Bhagwan Sri Ram is teaching us we are human beings. We haven't reached that level of spiritual attribution as yet. But if we can start by little showering away and pushing away our false desire, then the noble desire will flow in. The reason for Sri Ram's confidence in the infallibility of Bharat. Sorry about the typing, one moment, 1 second. Let me just. Of Bharat was that his inner world was clean and pure. And devotees, This is the real criteria. We are told over and over to have a clean and a pure mind. Our inside will be clean and pure. Why having a clean mind would result in a clean exterior? You know why? Because we never see with our eyes, we do not speak with our mouth, but we speak with our Atma. If our soul is clean, our mind is pure, then our actions will also be pure. 1 second. Just one moment, please. Right. Yeah. Bharat had reached a state where his mind was free from everyday anger, desire, jealousy, greed, and lust. Devotees, as this is an evening of prayer, we want to pray that Bhagwan Sri Ram bless us, that the Lord bless you by virtue of your prayer, that at least let us get rid of our desire. Once we get rid, because desire is the foundation of anger, jealousy, greed, and lust. Only if you desire, let us say lust means is that you are lusting after something on a sensuous level, and there's nothing more distrustful or destructive than that. So let us pray that none of us will fall into the trap of lust, because if you fall into that trap and your lust is not satisfied, then anger, jealousy, and greed will follow. But let us go back to this, what we are meant to focus on today. Is that today's was meant to be this beautiful thing. How do we deal with the mental side of our dharma? It's a wonderful concept. It's a beautiful, wonderful concept. Bear with me once. Let me get to where we're going to be. Yeah. It's a wonderful concept that we realize that all of us are mind, body, and soul. We have an inner desire to think noble and sublime thoughts. This is where. And we wish to do productive work that makes a difference to the world. And here we are today, on the 24th of December 2021. Can we truly say, each and every one of you, that you, your family, is doing, can do, and will do something that will make a difference to the world? When we say make a difference to the world, I do not mean to bridge a river, or to make a hydroelectric power dam, but just help one family, one person with food, with education, with some form of mentoring, whatever way you can do to change their world, you would have changed the world. And it brings, the wonderful story of the little boy who was by the seaside. The storm had washed tens of thousands of starfish ashore. And there was this little boy who was throwing back the starfishes one at a time. An old man came up and says, "You're wasting your time. What you're doing would not make any change to anything." Then he held up this one starfish, and as he was about to throw it in the water, he said, "But it will make a difference to this one." And you have got to write down, who is your starfish? Yeah. Who is your starfish? Whose life you, by making that journey, you will change that person's life. You do not have to go to the seaside and replicate what the young child was doing, but within the remit of your own society, your own sangha, you can make a call tomorrow and find out, did you have lunch? Did you have breakfast? Can I contribute something? So do make that call. In essence, for this to occur, we must then be the masters of mind management. And this is so important, because this mind is what we have to manage. We have to manage it in such a way so then, when you're sitting down, let us say, to do your harmonium practice, or when you're sitting down to revise for your exams, let me go and see this television program. Oh no, I must, reply to this WhatsApp chat. No, no, no. Okay, I must upload something to TikTok and Instagram. So therefore, the mind is pulling you away from what your mind should have been stabilizing you to. So this mind is controlling you. So therefore, you have to take control over your mind. If you look around you and you want to know how dangerous a bad mind is and how good a good mind is, let us, refer to some names below. We have these names here. One second. Right. If we can look at the highlighted name, the first name is Helen Keller. The second is Mata Shabri. The third is Kali Das. All three of these were born in very dire circumstances. We all know about Mata Shabri. Very little would have known about Kali Das, but Kali Das is the most famous poet in all India. But he was born as being the most ignorant person you can ever meet. He was the guy, if you remember the story, he wanted to be a woodcutter, or he was asked to cut a piece of wood by his father. So his father gave him the saw. He climbs up on up of the tree, but instead of sitting near to the trunk and saw, he sat away from the trunk and was sawing between the trunk and himself, not realizing what he was doing. He was planning his own downfall. The name Helen Keller, very famous. At the age of, I think, 19 months, she got a disease and she became both deaf and blind. You can't have anything worse than that. But she had a mother who did not give up. Cut long story short, she ended up being a Harvard graduate. She ended up changing the lives of tens of thousands of blind and deaf people who would have been lost under normal circumstances, but she developed a system of teaching and inspiring those with disability to climb to the highest mountain. In the case of Mata Shabri, her name is synonymous with bhakti and devotion. And it shows that with bhakti and devotion, even the Lord will eat out of your hands. If you have a clean mind and you have a clean heart, I can assure you that the Lord, whatever you may call him, will visit your home so often because he is attracted by purity. The Lord does not know material, what we call romantic love, but the Lord knows divine love. That's the only language the Lord knows. So when you add the dimension of love to your life, then suddenly your prayers are answered. Your prayers are answered when you have the darshan of Sri Ram. When Sri Ram comes up to your home and sings beautiful and listens to Mata Shabri and eat the bair out of her jute hands. That is what you call divine love. All of us would want through our prayers, recitation of these prayers to attract goodwill in our life. And it shows that if you have a bad mind, that if you're not able to control, the weakness of your mind, then I do not know whether, you can look at, Elvis Presley, or you can look at lots of the pop singers of today who end up succumbing to drugs and addiction, that look how they were born in wealth, but they ended up, dying sometimes in poverty. So good mind, following by the strength that you get from prayer, lead to success and happiness. Sri Krishna outlined this very clearly in verse 5 of chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. Shri Krishna is telling Arjun, he says, Arjun, how you, who has borne royalty, a Kshatri, has become so weak and dejected. He's telling to Arjun, elevate yourself through the power of your mind and do not degrade yourself, for the mind can be the greatest assistant of the self, but also the vilest enemy. Do not be like Duryodhan, where his greed destroyed his family, destroyed his 99 brothers, and destroyed his whole kingdom because of greed and the desire to possess what was not his. All of us can be Duryodhans, or all of us can be Arjuna, where we have no desire. Arjuna had no desire for anything, but Bhagwan Shri Krishna, educating him, says, Arjun, it is your duty to do your duty. It's unfortunate that his duty had to be fight and kill people, but we are not Arjuna. Our duty is much more benevolent. So let us pray that Bhagwan Shri Krishna bless us again, and that is why the state of our mind will determine our experience of both happiness under stress. Because of the state of your mind, these experiences happen. Therefore, the constant attachment to praying will teach us to cultivate a cheerful mind. What I'm saying, devotees, you do not have an option if you want to be happy, but hold on to a mantra. Hold on to a prayer, and you will be surprised at the transformatory nature of these few words. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Oh Lord, I wish everybody to be happy. As you go on the road, you wish everybody to be happy. As you go to the supermarket, you wish everybody to be happy. And your Atma is reciting this. And of course, if you want everybody to be happy, under no circumstances would you have ill will from everyone. Devotees, as we clearly said, that in the Ramayana, Guru Vasishtha explains clearly to Sri Ram, who inquired as to why there was so much illness in the kingdom. He said, Sri Ram, diseases begin in the mind. When we harbor poisonous thoughts, the mental sheet get disturbed. This agitates the pranayama, or the vital energy sheet. This should be SHEATH. This disturbance manifests in the physical body as disease. My dearest brothers and sisters, we are coming to the time where we have 6 minutes more. And what we are saying is that we must pray positive prayers. So in this way, the diseases of the mind cannot take hold. As you are praying and you are reciting beautiful mantras, Aum Sarve-shaam Mangalam Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashit Dukha Bhag Bhave. Or we do it in the meter. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashit Dukha Bhag Bhave. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashit Dukha Bhag Bhave. And remember, your job in life now is to be that one, the one who is a Dukkha Bhanjana. Be like Sri Ram, be as Sri Ram, Tattvamasi, because you are so great that you have Sri Ram inside of your heart. How fortunate you are, that you have this realization now that you are true divinity. If we can conclude it in these few lines, is that, you see, on the other hand, if we harbor a miserable mind, we shall suffer all the forms of torments arising from heat, anger, greed, desire. All of our Vedic scriptures The greatest enemies, the most dangerous enemies, are in fact the internal, unseen enemies, not the person who's going to gossip about you or not the person who you think doesn't like you. They are small in comparison to that hatred that you have inside of you for them. Um, Illusion, so lust, anger, greed, envy, and illusion, all of which resides in our mind and nowhere else. But I hope that all of you on the screen, that none of you have those in your mind. It is for this reason it is said that resentment is like drinking poison, hoping that the other person dies. And this is a very great lesson for you. You must remember that even though how much someone makes you angry, drop that angry. Even how much you resent someone and you wish them unhappiness, it's the same thing again as though um, you are drinking the poison of anger and resentment, and you hope that the person whose name you are calling would somehow die. That's not possible. The poison referred to is a negativity that we harbor inside of us. Devotees, on this wonderful next couple of days, if we wish to attract a more favorable circumstance in our life, let us begin right now by improving our thoughts. The mind work with cause and effect. The mind is the cause of bondage, and the mind is the cause of liberation and your own happiness. All forms of suffering follows our evil thoughts. As the wheel of a cart follows the oxen that draws it, joy follows a pure thought like a shadow that never leaves you. And this is the thought I want to leave with us today, that joy follows a pure thought like a shadow that never leaves you, which means, if we focus on being joyous in whatever we do, we need to change because the old system is not working. We need to change so that the new year 2022 will bring us lots of happiness. Isha vasyamidam sarvam. Yatkinchet jagat yang jagat. Tena tyak tena bunjita. Magda kashya sivadhanam. As we said, all of us are inseparable from God. May He bless each and every one of you with a life of happiness, a life of fulfillment. Let us close with this mantra and Shanti Path. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashit Dukha Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Devotees, we have come to this wonderful, recipe that we have to address the mind, because it's all about the mind. This thing controls us, and yet we give it so much little emphasis. Mental well-being is critical, devotees, and the only way we can have a mind free of mental afflictions is to work and understand what this mind can do to each and every one of you. I pray that Supreme Bhagwan Maryada Purushottam, Bhagwan Sri Ram, bring joy and happiness into each and every one of you. So once again, I wish everybody lots of happiness. And I know we focus today on your mind and what mantras to use your mind. Just hold on to either Om Shri Ganesha Ainama or Om Namaste Ganapatiye. Whenever you feel tension, Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. As you wish the world happiness, the whole world would be wishing you back happiness, and all of the tensions will come to an end. Devotees, we have come to the last class or satsang for 2021. We will not have any satsang next week Friday, not because I don't want to do it, but you would have your parties to go to and whatever. But from next year, we will continue this beautiful series of satsang, to share this message. So this type of teaching is go on more and more. It's not your traditional satsang, but this is the mind. This makes it greater, that if you can control your mind, then all of us will benefit. Hari Om, Tat Sat.